Hello everyone and welcome back to me, Shiva Wilson, and my channel, which is all about legalizing recreational adult use cannabis in the UK. I nearly forgot what I was going to say there. Whew. Anyway, today I've got a bit of stuff for you about Portugal's decision to decriminalize the personal possession of all drugs, which happened in 2001, would you believe? What a long time ago they did such a progressive movement here. So let's have a look at Portugal's decision here. So Portugal's decision to decriminalize the personal possession of all drugs in 2001 is often cited as a groundbreaking policy in drug reform. Here's an overview of the background, reasons, and outcomes of this significant decision. Background. Historical context. By the 1990s, Portugal was facing a severe drug crisis. The country had one of the highest rates of drug-related deaths in the European Union, and drug use was linked to escalating rates of HIV/AIDS, hepatitis, and other infectious diseases among people who used drugs. The political climate in Portugal in the late 20th century was also important. After a dictatorship ended in 1974, Portugal underwent rapid social changes, which included a rise in drug use and related problems. The reasons for decriminalization. Public health crisis. The drug crisis had become a significant public health issue, overwhelming the healthcare system and increasing the mortality rate. There was a growing recognition that the existing punitive approach was ineffective in addressing the root causes of drug dependency and related social issues. A shift towards a health-centric approach. Influenced by harm reduction principles, Portugal decided to shift its strategy from criminalization to a health-centric approach focused on treatment and prevention. The government wanted to reduce the stigma associated with drug use, which often prevented individuals from seeking help. An evidence-based policy. Portugal's approach was driven by evidence from other countries where harm reduction strategies were showing positive outcomes. Policymakers believed that treating drug addiction as a health issue rather than a criminal one would lead to better social and health outcomes. Let's look at some key features of the decriminalization policy. Decriminalization versus legalization. It's important to note that Portugal decriminalized drug possession, not legalized it. This means that while the possession of small amounts of drugs for personal use is not a criminal offence, it remains an administrative one. Individuals caught with personal use amounts, typically up to a 10-day supply, are referred to a Dissuasion Commission composed of legal, health, and social work professionals rather than being sent to court. Let's look at these dissuasion commissions. Instead of criminal prosecution and incarceration, the Dissuasion Commission evaluates each case and can recommend various outcomes, including treatment programs, fines, or other administrative sanctions. The goal of these commissions is to dissuade individuals from drug use and direct them to treatment services if necessary. Now let's have a look at the outcomes and the impact. Reduction in drug-related deaths and HIV infections. Since the implementation of the policy, Portugal has seen a significant reduction in drug-related deaths and new HIV infections. Harm reduction programs such as needle exchange and opioid substitution therapy have been integral to these improvements. The impact on drug use. Contrary to some initial fears, decriminalization did not lead to an increase in drug use. In fact, drug use among young people has decreased. The fear of criminal penalties no longer drove drug users underground, allowing more individuals to access health services. Let's look at the social and economic benefits. The approach has had broader social benefits, including the reintegration of drug users into society and the workforce. By focusing on treatment rather than incarceration, Portugal has also saved on the costs associated with the criminal justice system. In conclusion, Portugal's decriminalisation of personal drug possession in 2001 represented a significant shift towards a public health approach to drug use. This policy was driven by the need to address a severe public health crisis and was informed by harm reduction principles and evidence-based practices. Today, Portugal's model is often referenced globally as a successful example of how decriminalisation, combined with comprehensive health and social services, can lead to better health and social outcomes for individuals and communities. I've been Shiva Wilson, campaigning to legalise recreational adult use cannabis in the UK. I'll see you on the next one. Subscribe to Legalise. Good night.